Hi, I'm Holly Andrews, Integrative Nutrition Health Coach and Executive Wellness Coach. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the kitchen. Last week, I promised you that I would show you a wonderful recipe that you can use that gorgeous chicken bone broth that we made in this week's recipe. And so today I want to share with you my recipe for ginger-turmeric carrot soup. Now we put a lot of ginger and turmeric into the chicken bone broth, so we're going to double down on that in this carrot soup recipe. Why are we going to do this carrot soup recipe? Well, that is because there's so many great health benefits. Obviously, first things first, carrots are rich in beta-carotene, which is an antioxidant that turns to vitamin A in our bodies. And that vitamin A is going to help support our immune system during this fall and winter season. Of course, there's also anti-inflammatory properties in this soup. We're going to use ginger, we're going to use turmeric, and just like when we put it in the bone broth, that is going to help keep that inflammation inside of our bodies at bay. Both of them are wonderfully anti-inflammatory. Third, this chicken bone broth, as we discussed last week, is incredibly gut healing. The collagen in the bone broth is going to help keep our gut lining in peak form. It's going to help repair any issues that we may be having in that gut lining. And so this bone broth in this carrot soup recipe is just wonderful for gut health. Obviously, ginger, garlic, turmeric, those are also all wonderful antioxidants and properties for our immune system. Garlic is also a prebiotic feeding our gut health, our gut microbiome. The onion is also a prebiotic, so that's going to feed our gut microbiome. Finally, we're going to put some coconut milk in here for healthy fats, which our body needs for brain function and digestive health. So this is just a really wonderful, complete recipe that is going to bring lots and lots of health benefits to us this fall and winter season. So to make this recipe, we're going to cut up a pound of carrots. Now I used organic carrots. You can use whatever carrots you choose, but I did choose to buy organic carrots. So we're gonna cut up a pound of carrots into rounds, toss them in some olive oil, hit them with a little bit of salt and pepper. On a baking tray, I've used parchment paper to line my baking tray. Again, that's because I've discovered that aluminum foil, when it contacts our food and is heated, leaches metal into my food, and I certainly don't want that. That is a toxin to our body, so I choose to use parchment paper. That is going to go into those carrots are going to go into a 400-degree oven for about 20 to 25 minutes until they're cooked and slightly caramelized to bring out some of those wonderful sugars, wonderful flavors that are naturally occurring in the carrots. While those are cooking, I'm going to chop up an onion and get my garlic and my turmeric ready. Now the recipe that you can find in the description below calls for ground turmeric. I am choosing to use fresh because I have it on hand and I don't want it to go bad. So I am going to use fresh turmeric root today, but ground turmeric works just as well. So while that is in the oven, I'm going to get my onion chopped up ready to go. And then we're going to put that in our pot with some olive oil, cook that onion down. And then when we're ready, we're going to assemble everything together into the pot with the chicken broth and the carrots, obviously. Get that, good and simmered. And then we're gonna finish it with an immersion blender to blend it all up and make it nice and super creamy with that coconut milk. And then we're gonna garnish it at the very end with some cilantro. So let's get to it. All right, so the carrots are just about done. I've got my oil in my soup pot here, my Dutch oven. I'm gonna go ahead and get my onions going, and then we're gonna let those cook down for about 5 minutes. Then add in our turmeric and ginger and garlic. And by that point, the carrots should be done. So once that's all done, we'll add the carrots in, get the chicken stock in, chicken broth in, and make this soup happen. All right, so the carrots are done, the onions are done. I'm gonna go ahead and add in the ginger and turmeric and the garlic. And give that a couple of minutes to cook. And then we will add in our carrots and our broth. All right, so our onions, our ginger, our turmeric, our garlic, it's ready. The carrots are ready, so I'm gonna pick these up. They are just roasted perfectly and slightly caramelized. Then I'm gonna add in the chicken stock. And doesn't that look so pretty? The chicken stock is just this deep, deep orange. It is gorgeous. Scrape up any of the brown bits that may be stuck on the bottom of the pan. And then I'm gonna turn this up to high and bring this to a boil. Once it boils, I'm gonna let it simmer for about 10 minutes before adding in the coconut milk. But while that's going, I've got a few little cilantro leaves that I'm just gonna rough chop here. And I know cilantro can be controversial, so use it if you like it. And if you don't, maybe try something different. Maybe a little parsley, some sage leaves might be really good in this. So, use what you want or completely leave it out. So again, I'm gonna bring this to a boil, turn it down to a simmer, and let it simmer for 10 minutes before adding in the coconut milk and then getting out the immersion blender. Okay, so it's been 10 minutes. I am going to hold on to this pot, get my immersion blender, and blend this up. I am going to turn the heat down on this just a little bit, and hopefully I can make this work. This immersion blender is somewhat complicated. That is probably about as pureed as I am going to get it. If you don't have an immersion blender, of course, you can use a regular blender. Just be careful since it is hot. Transferring it into the blender, do it in small batches. Do not overfill the blender because then you will wind up with hot soup everywhere. But that looks pretty good and pureed to me. All right, there may be a couple of chunks of carrots in there that I missed, but it's okay. All right, so now we're gonna add in our coconut milk. This is a cup of organic coconut milk, and I am gonna make sure that I get all the chunks of coconut cream out of here. I definitely want that in my soup. It is necessary with my coconut cream here. They will melt, but I'm going to help them a little bit. So once I get that all stirred in and the coconut cream is dissolved, I may hit it with the immersion blender again. I will put it in a bowl and show you what it looks like when it's ready to serve. All right, so here you go. Here is that gorgeous ginger-turmeric carrot soup. I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of the cilantro that we chopped up, and it is ready to serve. All right, so I hope you enjoy this recipe. Get creative with it. You can use almost any kind of fall vegetable. If you don't really care for carrots, maybe try butternut squash or a different kind of squash. In this recipe, it will work just fine. But I hope you can see how amazing this can be when you make your own anti-inflammatory chicken bone broth and then use it as an ingredient in this amazing fall soup with all of its anti-inflammatory properties. Of course, this recipe is also dairy-free and gluten-free, so it meets a wide range of dietary preferences. And it just smells like fall in a bowl, and it looks like fall in a bowl too, let's be honest. All right, y'all, thanks for watching. Until next time, I believe that you can heal your stress from the inside out.